Hello? Hello. I'm still riding the high of hitting 10K, and I am super grateful. Making videos is my only lifeline to sanity at this point, and I'm glad you're enjoying them. I wanted to make another Fusions video because it's a super fun art prompt to work with, really relaxed, infinite combinations, character building playground. I love it. And I've been using these to flesh out my Rose Returns version of things, and codifying the different ways I interpret the characters' relationships as opposed to canon. Good times all around. For this video, I gave myself rules. Only 3-gem fusions, no more, no less. I tried to use more saturated palettes because my art skews way too pastel most of the time. And no garnet fusions. She would have made the 3-gem fusion rule way too easy. As per usual, I have 10 new fusions to show you, and have codified a little bit about their personalities, their signatures, and for some, how they came to fuse for the first time. So, without further ado, let's get to it. First, reaching up to about Sardonyx's waist, we've got Hawkeye, the fusion of Rose, Bismuth, and Sapphire. For new viewers of this series, I theorize that individual gems leave a signature in any fusion that they're a part of, something unifying and consistent. All fusions with Bismuth create a multicolored gem, 3 or more colors. All Rose fusions have a healing factor, and all Sapphire fusions have some variety of prognostication. Hawkeye here has the ability to keep an eye on any gem that she has seen before in person. By closing her eye, she can see them from a bird's eye view from anywhere, no matter what the distance. She can also manifest any gem she's ever seen at will, with the distinct difference that any hit from the weapon heals the other person. Ever get decapitated by an axe, but instead of that, tension in your shoulder just goes away? Yeah. She has a very deep and soothing voice, and is generally very calm and collected, but don't be fooled. She has chaos in her. Next, we have the fusion of Lapis, Peridot, and Rose. Peacock, Agate. Lapis's signature is specifically hydrokinesis, while Peridot's signature is a more moldable kind of kinesis, depending on the fusion. Peacock manifests this with phytokinesis, vines, trees, flowers, you name it. The pollen she creates from her plants can heal. Peacock is in love with Earth, just like all 3 of her components grew to be. She's fast and flighty and excitable, and always wants to see new things on Earth for herself. She stands at about Opal's height and gets along well with Sunstone. Next is Carnelian, the one who kicked off this set. The fusion of Rose, Pearl, and Amethyst. And she used to be a fairly regular figure in the Crystal Gem family before Stephen's birth, and definitely exists fairly often now that Rose is back. She's kind of a positive cycle of self-affirmation. All the admiration and pride and love each gem has for the other drowns out any of the individual's self-doubt. Kind of like the fusion of Stephen and Lapis in a way. She's proud of herself and who she is. Pearl's signature in a fusion is the capability to move some part of the body 360 degrees. For Carnelian's body, it's her shoulders, letting her basically helicopter her arms. Amethyst's signature is neurodivergence. Every fusion she's a part of has some non-typical trait, for better or for worse. Carnelian here has something equivalent to Tourette's, manifesting in her twisting her arms like mentioned before, whether all 6 or just a few, and whistling. This actually attracts birds to her fairly often, and they tend to perch. I think she's one of my favorites of this bunch. Now, this is Chocolate Agate, the Sugilite-sized fusion of Rose, Bismuth, and Amethyst. She really only has one goal and one personality trait. She wants to get into Pearl's pants. Doesn't matter that Pearl can fit in her pocket, she is thirsty and she won't let anything like the magnitude size difference stop her. And I mean, come on, she's the component of all of the gems Pearl has wooed over the years. What would you expect? And I apparently have square brain. Oh my god. I drew this, picked the gem, and colored it without once realizing that Bismuth's fusions can't be monocolored. Well, fuck it. Chocolate is an exception. Pearl definitely doesn't mind. Next, we have the mad scientist fusion of Peridot, Lapis, and Pearl. Apatite. Lapis and Peridot's signatures combine to allow Apatite to control static and create carbonated liquid from nothing. And her head can turn around like an owl's. It's quite creepy. She's also about the height of rainbow quartz, and came about when Lapis got emotional about how close she had come to trust the other two, just watching them tinker together with the refresher knives. Those knives are the combined technology of a rejuvenator and a replicator wand that Pearl and Peridot created together. The very thing that brought back Rose. And I like to imagine that Pearl grew much closer to Peridot and Lapis during this time, both of them connecting to her very well in different aspects. Here, we have the somewhat obligatory Black Diamond, fusion of white, yellow, and blue. She is basically an eldritch nightmare god, infinitely larger than any gem we've ever seen, could only let out incoherent, unholy screeching, and with the ability to produce black holes, sucking in life itself. I feel like this monster of a deity only existed once, long before Rose's birth and at the very beginning of gem civilization. Stories and folklore about her passed down through Homeworld as a cautionary nightmare against defying the authority, but most gems considered her a myth. Oh, here's another favorite of mine from this batch, the fusion of Pearl, Pink Pearl, and Rose. Coral. She's the height of Blue and Yellow Diamond, and she's the princess to Mega Pearl's prince. Pink Pearl and Blue Diamond have a fairly friendly relationship after Pink Pearl begins her relationship with Spinel, and Pearl and Yellow unexpectedly grew close after a particular incident soon after Rose's return. They are both gentle mediators between Rose and Blue and Yellow as they try to mend their broken relationships. So I like to think that Coral exists often as a way for Rose to spend time with the Diamonds, to feel safer and on a more equal footing. And coming in from the left field, we have an unpredicted player, Rainbow Quartz C. This was an unintended side effect of the refresher blade on Rose's gem, and was unexpected by all parties. Rose was watching Pearl and Connie's training, trying to get to know her son's best friend after so recently waking up, and Connie was very nervous about impressing her probable mother-in-law. Rose got excited at a particularly cool parry that Connie pulled off and swept her and Pearl into a large hug, only to discover that her modified gem lets her fuse with humans. Peridot would later theorize that it wasn't the refresher per se, but a carryover from Steven's gem having the ability when he copied it for her, the upgrade carrying back over to Rose. Steven nopes the fuck out of interacting with RQC, much like Greg with the Rosebuds. Nope, he is just not dealing with that. And finally, we have ChrysaCola, the fusion of bismuth, amethyst, and lapis. Can you tell that I was watching Adventure Time Obsidian on repeat while I designed her? She's loud and sarcastic and witty, and is more than a little bipolar. Loves fighting, but much like Sugalite goes way overboard sometimes. She's pretty benched due to the damage to Little Homeworld from her first appearance. Not as benched as Mystic Topaz from the last video, but she's not coming out for no reason, that's for sure. That's everyone for now. Let me know what you thought about their personality and designs in the comments. Again, you fuckers know I love a good-natured roasting, so don't hold back. Throw in your fusion suggestions for the future, too. These videos are fantastic design practice. I'll see you next time, guys. It's been a treat.